Let's see. Can you guys hear me? That would be the first question. Let's see here. All right. Good morning. Jennifer's in the house. Can you hear me okay, Jennifer? Seems like I'm having a little bit of an issue with the mic today, and I'm not quite sure why. So may need to refresh this here or something. Good morning, James. How are you, my man? Want to make sure that I'm able to be heard here this morning. Let's see. Can hear you now. Michael says, what's up, Michael? What's happening? Cool. All right. Yeah. If you guys, loud and clear, Jennifer says, awesome. Yes, we can. Good morning, Nigel. What is up? Ooh, get this. Chris with a K. What's up? Good morning. Yes, I did it. Yes. Okay. James says, yes, I can hear you now. That is good. Very good. Debbie, good morning to you as well. And you guys may notice, but I'm in a different place today. I'm back home. We left this morning. Yeah, Jennifer says back home. Yep. Actually, we got up early. I was actually up at 5:30. Still had my coffee, looking out at the lake. Wrote an email, enjoyed the morning. And then we left about 8:15 and then rolled in the driveway here about 9. I'd say about 9:15, 9:20, and hooked everything up. And here we are, baby. We're getting ready to do the Friday jam session here with the Take Action crew here, the Take Action morning show. And that's what we're going to be doing here today. Karen's in the house. I hear you. Good morning, sunshine today. And there's sunshine out there today too, which is really exciting. Ashley, what's going on? Good morning. Hopefully you've got those blog posts published or you're publishing them. Good evening. Animo. I think that's how you pronounce it. From Italy. What is up? Justin, awesome. Another regular to the Take Action morning crew. What is up? Lydia, how are we doing? Salama, hello. All right, cool. So we've got a lot of people in the house here today, and I am super excited about it. We've got, let's see here. We've got good morning. Can't wait to get. I have so many questions. Well, let's go. Let's ask some questions because we got to start. We got to get this thing rolling. So here's what I'm going to do. All right. And this is really happening for the podcast because the podcast episode, this will go out on the podcast probably in 2 weeks. So I'm doing these as a new way since we've rebranded the podcast as the Rock Your Brand podcast. This is our Friday jam session. So I'm recording these also. So this way here, we can air them on the podcast. So if you want to go back and listen, you can go there. Or if you don't join us for these morning talks, you can listen to it there. So let's kick this thing off. So this way here, my editor will know that this is where we want to start. All right. So here we go. All right, guys, welcome to the Friday's edition here of our Friday jam session. I am here to answer questions for you, and I am going to be doing that here today. And I am fired up to have everyone with me. So what I want you to do is if you are here live, I want you to start asking those questions. And that way there, we can start jamming because this is a Friday jam session. Now, while I'm waiting for some questions to come in, I do want to let the people know that aren't here and they aren't live and you're listening to this on the podcast or you're watching this on YouTube later. If you want to be here and hang out with us, well, all you need to do is head on over to takeactioncrew.com and you can be part of our Take Action morning crew. And this is where you get to ask questions like this here today. But like I said, this is one of my highlights of the week, and I am fired up to get going here today. And I can't wait to dig into some of these questions. So let's go ahead and start scrolling through here and see if we have any questions that have surfaced. I do have a couple that are in the queue. So let me just, let's see here. Ashley says, yes, I did, but I think I caused a problem too. So many questions this morning. And Ashley is basically, replying back to one of our morning talks this week about her publishing content. So let me start with that. All right. Let me start with that question. The question was, all right, if I have multiple blog posts or articles written for my site, should I wait to publish those, or should I have a certain number to publish, or should I just start publishing? And I think you know where I'm going to go with this. All right. The answer is we want to start publishing as soon as possible. And the reason why is because until we hit publish inside of WordPress or whatever platform you're using, if we don't hit publish and make it public so Google can go and index, okay, if they can't index our content, we can't be found, right? So the longer that you hold off on publishing something, the longer it's going to take in order to get traffic, all right? So I want you to really understand that we can get it close. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yesterday, if you were here with me, we were talking all about perfectionism, and that holds a lot of people back. We want to get it close. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's a button there also that is an edit button. We can always go back and edit a post. So what I recommended Ashley do, and anyone else that is listening or watching, is to get it where it's done and it's good enough so you can go ahead and publish. All right. Because like I said, if we are playing the long game, which we should be, we want to get content that is spread out. So let's say, for example, you publish that today, right? Well, that thing is now planted. Okay. It's like we just planted some wildflowers outside, which, by the way, I do have some wildflowers I planted the other week, and I'm waiting. It's going to take 2 months for them to germinate, right? So fully bloom. But I planted, and now I'm going to, carry on and plant some other things around the yard, right? So you really need to understand that we need to plant them and we need to allow them to have the ability to grow, okay? So another question which came in around this same thing, and this came from Salama, and it was, how should I promote my post or my content? How should I promote it? Well, there's a few different ways that we can promote our content, all right? Number one is we need to get it live, okay? So first step is it needs to be live, okay? The second part to this is, yes, we want to bring attention to that piece of content. Now, the simple way of doing this is if you have any kind of Facebook page, or if you have maybe an Instagram account, or if you have an email list, we want to let the email list, or we want to let other people know, hey, we got a post that just published, and it's all about how to catch more bass in the pond. You should go check it out. 5 tips to catch more bass in the pond. Wrote it. Go have fun with it. Catch more bass, right? You put that out there and bring attention to it, okay? Let people see it that are already in your circle. Now, you may only have maybe you only have a personal profile page. Maybe you don't even have a business page yet. Why not just share it with your friends? Share it with people that you're connected with and say, hey, can you do me a favor? I just wrote this post. I'm not sure if you're interested in this stuff, but let me know what you think. This will get traffic there. Even if it's 2 people, it doesn't matter. It's still getting some traffic. Now, in the end, what we want is we want that post to be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days old, okay? Because the longer it is in the search engines, it is getting indexed and it's getting shuffled around, right? So we have content right now that we published over 6 months ago and is just starting to get to page 1 or maybe page 2 even, right? So it's working its way up. Now, not every piece is going to show, up in the search engines, and that's okay. That's why we want to get on a regular routine of publishing content, all right? Publishing content, all right? Now, the other way that you can promote a piece of content, and this is going to go really well with what we're actually doing right now, and I have a workshop coming up, which you guys may or may not have heard of, that I just announced, is Pinterest. So, I wasn't a big Pinterest fan. I got to be honest. I wasn't. I was like, it's just another one of those social media channels, and it's just a whole bunch of people just pinning things, right? And I just, I really didn't want to use that as a strategy, right? And so after I was educated a little bit more and I started to see some of these results, I started to become a believer, okay? And so the reason why I love Pinterest, so what I would do is I would use Pinterest as an amplification tool and as a way to create evergreen assets. All right. So this is what this would look like. If you already have a website, so this only works if you have a website already, or let me say it only works for me if you currently have a website, right? Because I don't want to create a Pinterest account and boards and all that stuff and get traffic and nowheres to send them, right? Like I can't send them right back to Pinterest, right? I can't really do anything there. I want to send them over to my website where I control the traffic. All right. So what I would advise doing, and this is what we're doing, and we actually have a workshop coming up. And actually, I'll put that up here. Let me see. If you guys are listening, I'll give you guys the URL. It is brandcreators.com/workshop. So if you go to brandcreators.com/workshop, you will see that there is a Pinterest training that we're doing there, because we've proven the model not just on one brand, but on 2 brands. And that's the only reason why I would ever teach this. So the only time that I've taught this is inside of Brand Creators Academy. And we actually created a full course in there. It's actually a mini training. My daughter, Alexis, who's my little secret weapon, by the way, and she's going to be teaching this. And then I'm going to be there to do my part as far as answering questions and really kind of tying it all back to how does this help your website, and how do we set everything up so everything is pointing to your blog and to your website. So again, if you're interested, brandcreators.com/workshop. But this is what I would do, okay? I would take that blog post that you want to promote, and then I would create a separate pin, okay, a pinnable image. Now, the key here is you want to make sure that that image is the right size and format for Pinterest, okay? And then what we do is we include that inside of the blog post. So now anybody that reads the blog post, they can scroll down and they can see that there's a pinnable image. But that's not the big thing here for us to do, because we're just taking our traffic and then we're getting them to pin it on maybe one of their boards, which is also going to allow us to be found by them pinning it, right? So that's another part of it. But the main part is we're going to create multiple boards in our Pinterest account, and one of those is going to be best of, right? Extreme bass fishing. Right. And so what we're going to do is, if that post is related to that, we're going to also take that pin and we're going to pin it on our board. And now anybody that is searching on Pinterest can find that, right? And we're going to have a collection of these different boards. Some of the boards are going to have our content. Some of them are going to have other people's content. So what this is doing is it's creating an evergreen asset that lives on my site and it lives on Pinterest. And the boards that I'm creating in Pinterest are also assets individually that can be found in Google, right? So I'm going to actually, on Monday, I am going to be going over everything on a podcast episode. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, it will be airing on the podcast. Also, I'll be doing it on our Take Action morning show, and I'll be going through that strategy a little bit deeper. But we are going to be covering this in the brandcreators.com/workshop. This is going to be something we're testing as well. It's a pop-up workshop. It's where we're going to do a 2-week long training, and we're going to have 2 live Q&A sessions at the end of each week. So if you're interested, go there, check it out, join us. If you already have a website or have a place that you want to direct traffic, only if you have those things. If not, it's not ready for you yet. But that's what I would do to promote that content, by the way. That's what I would do. All right, let's go to another question here. Let me see. All right, Ashley there, James. Okay. James, I'm wanting to learn how to crop videos. I'm wanting to zoom in on certain parts so people can see my fingers better. I don't believe the editor in YouTube does this. Can you suggest a video editor that allows for this? Okay, great question. Okay, and so anyone that's listening, James is going into the guitar teaching lessons niche, right? And some people would say, like, Scott, isn't that already oversaturated? No, because there's not another James, right? James is going to be able to put his own unique spin on how to teach, right? And I think he's going to do very, very well, right? So anybody that has their own expertise, their own passion, and they have their own spin on it, there's no one that can replace you. So I know myself, I've looked at guitar tutorials, and there's some people that are just too technical, and some people are more like just here's where you put your fingers, right? Like, here's how you do it, right? It's not like talking theory and scales and all of that stuff. That stuff is where I start to tune out. Okay. So, all right. So how do you zoom in? Okay. So there's a couple of different, now I don't know, James, if you are on a Windows machine or if you're on a Mac. If you're on a Mac, what I really like is ScreenFlow. It's about $100, somewhere in that range, maybe $120. But it works really good. And you can literally zoom in. You can even slow zoom in on different parts of your video. So what you want to do here is you want to get a tool that allows you to do that. Now, Should you be editing your videos right now? Maybe just because you're starting out, but I'm a big fan of also going to a place like Fiverr and having someone do the work for you, right? Like, why not do that? Okay. So here's what I want you to do. If you think that is something that you are going to be doing yourself and editing, then yes, get something like either ScreenFlow or Camtasia, one of those that will allow you to do that. All right. So make sure that you don't overcomplicate it. And if you want, you can have someone on Fiverr do it for probably $10. All right. So make sure that you do that. All right. Or make sure you consider that. All right. Let me go down here. Ashley, how many blog post followers would you recommend before applying to be an affiliate? All right. So, okay. So I think it matters on the traffic. It doesn't matter necessarily on how many followers, or it's how many people are visiting the site. Okay. How many people are visiting the site? That's going to determine when I'm going to be applying to be an affiliate. Because if you're applying for Amazon Associates, you need to have a certain number of sales in a 30-day window, or they'll stop, they'll actually pause or even terminate your privileges to sell. So make sure that you're not putting it on too early. Now, here's the deal though. There's other affiliate programs other than just Amazon. There's ClickBank products, okay? And that doesn't have anything there that you have to have a certain number of those. And there's also private ones that you can use. My biggest thing is in the beginning, we don't want to monetize too early, right? We want to focus on getting the traffic. Right now, we have, on the one brand, we just hit 25,000, I believe, last month. We turned it on the month before when we had about 18,000, okay? The other brand is now getting around, it's going to have around 23,000, 25,000, somewhere in that range, maybe even 30. We're going to turn it on now, right? But we have some affiliate stuff that's in there, but no ad networks, okay? So the ad networks are a little bit different, and you have to have at least 10,000 anyways before you turn that on for Ezoic. Mediavine is 25,000 page views, and then AdThrive is 100,000. So again, I would focus right now on getting the eyeballs, getting the traffic. Yes, you want to do some posts that talk about products. You want to do some comparisons. You want to do this versus this, 5 best router bits for dovetail joints, like certain things like that. And then you can always take those links and you can always switch them out with affiliate links later. Okay. So just understand that you don't have to be committed to the post as the way it is today and what you can do later. So just understand you can always go back and change that. Hey, Kate, good morning. Happy Friday to you as well. Thanks for stopping in. Derek, what do you think about advertising from your website? I love it. I was just talking about that. I think advertising from your website is great. Now, it depends, right? So for me on brandcreators.com, I'm not running ads from Ezoic or AdThrive or Mediavine. And the reason is because I want to control the offers that I am making, right? So the only offers right now on brandcreators.com is our playbook, is our free checklist, and then also when we open Brand Creators Academy, and now it's not even on the website, but now our workshop for Pinterest, right? So I'm not offering any other things. The only thing that we are putting on there, and actually it's not even built right now, we haven't converted it over from the rebrand, is a resources page, which will have other products that we promote that we use, like ConvertKit, example. But I'm a fan of it, but I'm not a fan of it if you're trying to drive sales to a lot of your own stuff, because that could detract. But you gotta kind of pick and choose. Now on the other brand that I talk a lot about, that's about 3 years old now, and we do over 150,000 page views a month. We are running ads, and we have our own physical products, and we have our own digital products. So it just depends on the brand and on the market. Okay. Or, and really your preference. Kevin Wang, what's up? What should my homepage look like in terms of content on my e-commerce page? Should it almost be like a lead page? Okay. So the homepage, I think, should let people know immediately that they're in the right place. So if you help people catch more bass, then I would say on the homepage, are you trying to catch more bass, or do you want to catch more bass? ? Well, you're in the right place. Download our 5-step checklist to the ultimate bass fishing guide, right? That would be your lead magnet. I do like a lead magnet there, but I also want them to know that they're in the right place. If all you do is put a product up in front of them, they're going to think they're in an e-commerce store. When people are on an e-commerce store, unless they're there to buy, that could be a turnoff. So I would not have my homepage to be all of that. Now, you might have a little spot on the homepage that says featured products. That's fine. But I think it's always about them. What are they trying to achieve? If they're trying to catch more bass, then you want to let them know you're at the right place. This is where we help you catch more bass, right? Or if you're doing woodworking, are you interested in building a piece of furniture that will be handed down for generations to come? You are? Oh, good. You're in the right place. That's what we focus on, right? So you want to make sure that your messaging is right on point. So that way when they get there, they know exactly that they're in the right place. And also it takes the people that aren't the right people and it repels them, right? So I do like having some type of lead capture on the homepage somewhere, even if it's a pop-up that comes on after they've been there for 5 seconds, but a very, very subtle one, like something in hello bar would be a good choice for that. Good morning, Mike Smiley, who always makes me smile. Good morning, Scott and fellow action takers. Love it. Derek, how many videos or links to other content should I have on page 1? So I think what you're meaning on page 1, you mean page 1 of your website, how many videos or links to other content. So maybe you can clarify that for me. But if it's the home page, as many as is needed. I don't think there's a rule on that you have to stick to. Whatever makes sense. All right. Let's see here. Salama, when starting, would you recommend to go live on 2 to 3 platforms? Oh, this is a great question. So what Salama is asking is about live streaming video, kind of like I'm doing right now. And I'm broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook, well, and Instagram if you count the phone. Hi, Instagram, off to the side. But I'm really streaming through these two through the camera over here. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can't actually see me right now doing that. But I'm looking at the camera, which is about 4 feet in front of me. So I think in the beginning, we just need to get you comfortable. So I would say to make it super easy, that way we don't have a lot of connection things, right? We can just broadcast to one. Right? Broadcast to the one that you feel can get you 1 or 2 people watching. That way there you have a live, person or people that you can engage with, kind of like I'm doing right here, right? So even if you don't have anyone watching, it still is a great thing to get you in the rhythm and give you reps, right? We're practicing, but yet we can practice in front of a few people. The other cool thing with doing live is we don't have to start and stop, or we won't be able to start and stop because we start live when we got to finish, right? You can't start and stop and overthink things too much. So I'm a big fan of doing it. I would pick one right now, and then I would go with that, and then I would add later. Okay, I wouldn't say you got to do 2 or 3 at once. All right. Rebecca, is it wise, excuse me, to integrate my physical products shop in my new blog site? Wait for enough traffic to keep them completely separate. Is integration of a shop hurtful for future affiliate marketing? No, I don't believe so. I think you should have, if you have a shop right now, then you should have a button in the menu that says our shop or our products or something like that. Why not let people know that you have them? There's nothing we're hiding here. There's no secret, right? So I would say put it there, right? And I don't think it's going to hurt anything. So I would say you want to incorporate them as soon as possible if the new blog or website is for the physical product stuff that you're selling, right? So if you're bringing those two together, why not bring them together? Now, it doesn't mean that they both have to be hosted. Actually, we've done it where you have a Shopify store and then that is separate. We just do a subdomain off of the main domain, right? But it still looks like when you're on the site, it's all hosted there because it's connected. All right. So I don't think it's hurtful at all. I think it's helpful. All right. I think it's helpful. Derek, what do you think about all these video tools to send traffic to your website? Syndication. Is it worth the time to invest in such a strategy? No, I've played with that in the past. And no, I do not believe that it's a good use of your time or money right now. So what you're talking about is something like Repurpose. There's one out there, which is it's a good tool. It does what it says, but whenever you're using a repurposed tool of some kind to try to get your content out there faster, it is going to hurt the algorithm inside of each platform because they are smart enough. I'll give you an example. So Tailwind, it will allow you to post on Pinterest. It'll allow you to post on Instagram and Facebook and all of those. And I just started using it, but the only reason I'm using it is to kind of backfill, right? So I'm going to be doing my own stuff manually, and then I'm going to be filling these hoppers so I have a steady flow of content being published on a regular basis. I'm not a fan of making that your only strategy so you can syndicate, right? And I also think that you got to get yourself dialed in with your content before you start thinking about syndication, right? So think about the content you're going to create, start creating it, get into a rhythm, and then we can start talking about repurposing it or cutting it up and then sending it out to different platforms. All right. So, all right, let me take a quick little break here to take a sip of this hot bulletproof coffee. If you guys are listening, you don't see me, but you can hear me. And I'll tell you what, it's really good bulletproof coffee. I'm sorry for slurping if I did. Anyway, let's get back to jamming. What do you say? Again, let me take a pause here for a minute just to say, if you're listening to this on the podcast, we're doing this live every Friday. This is what we call our Friday jam session. And you can head over to takeactioncrew.com and you can be part of our crew where you can ask a question. So if you have a question you want me to answer live, this is where you would do it. And then we're going to air it on an upcoming podcast episode. All right. So moving on. All right, Salama. How do live streams do in terms of getting traffic as opposed to videos? Are they searchable too, like other videos? Well, yes, they are in a sense, but on Facebook, not so searchable, right? How many times have you went to Facebook and searched for content, right? You probably haven't. I know I haven't. I don't go there and go, oh, how to catch more bass. I'm going to go to Facebook. Where do you go? You go to YouTube usually, right? Or you might go to Pinterest. Or you might do a Google search, right? But you're not going to Facebook. So if I had a choice, I would probably say I would stream to YouTube because YouTube then becomes a video asset that people are searching for. So we have Facebook, which is not really a search engine, although you can search in it, but people don't use it for that purpose. And YouTube, what is it? It's a search engine for video. And a lot of times it's how-to stuff. So that just makes the most sense to me, right? So I would start there and then use Facebook as well. Now, the other thing you can do is you can take your YouTube video and then you can download it or even not even download it. If you stream there, you'd have to download it. If you upload it there, you can just take that same upload and then just upload it natively to Facebook. It's going to also perform better if you natively upload or stream from the channel itself. So just a little bit of food for thought there. All right, Michael, would you consider doing a coffee talk on how to best structure an interview? Ooh, I like this, Michael. I am sure you have learned a lot interviewing people for the podcast, and I believe we would all benefit from your experience. I would love to do that. And let me kind of break off here for a second. The reason why I love this is because you guys know, if you're listening to this or watching this, you know that I recently did a rebrand on what used to be the Amazing Seller podcast, which had over 820 some episodes. And I decided to change the name to the Rock Your Brand podcast, right? And one of the reasons is because I want to talk about live streaming. I want to talk about podcasting. I want to talk about how to create a great interview, right? Those are things I do want to talk about because I've done it and I'm doing it. And it's what I enjoy doing. I don't want to just talk about physical products anymore, right? So the way for me to do that is to create this. So yes, I would love to help with that. And I'll be 100% completely transparent here with all of you. I am probably not the best interviewer, but I do think I have a good way of asking questions that not only I will benefit from, but also you, the listener. And that's the big thing for me, because I'm always thinking to myself, this is what I'm curious about. And the people that are following what I'm doing probably think a lot like me. So they probably want to know this too. So I think it's knowing your audience really. And I also think making the person that you're interviewing really feel comfortable and at home, right? And so I am not very strict. I have a couple of points and then I'll start riffing on those points, right? I know that I want to know their backstory, but I know that everyone kind of digs into someone's backstory. Then I want to get to the meat of it. And so for me, a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm looking for, what did you do when things didn't work? Because a lot of people aren't sharing that, aren't talking about that. So the interviews that I'm doing here moving forward, And even the one I just aired with Colin Costella from Shop Mechanics, who has over 900,000 YouTube subscribers, but you would think he's got a video, some videos that have millions of views. He had a video that had over 1 million views. And you would think that if he put an offer that was in that video, that he would be just selling tons. Well, no, he launched a product and sold 7 products from 1 million views on YouTube. Didn't really understand marketing, right? So the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because I want to hear about that, right? I want to hear about how did you get through 30 no's, like John Gordon, who wrote The Carpenter and The Energy Bus and so many other great books. He shares that it took 30 no's before he got a yes for the Energy Bus. If he never kept going, the Energy Bus never would have reached 2 million people, and it never would have propelled him to the the book author that he is in, or that he is known for now, and all of the different coaching that he's doing. Never would have happened, right? So when I interview, I want to know the dirt. I want to know, like, what do you do on one of those days that's bad, right? Because everyone talks about the good, which is great. I want to talk about some of that bad stuff, right? Like the stuff that, how did you keep pushing through, right? So I think one small tip here for you, Michael, it's probably a big tip really, is just try to get really raw, right? And get things out of them that normally other people won't ask, because they're just always like, well, how did you get 900,000 subscribers? We can talk about that. I want to talk about the struggle before you ever had 100 views on your videos, right? Those are the important ones to me. So anyway, yes, I would love to do that. Lydia, can you explain a little bit about how the ads work? At what point do we put ads on the site/blog? Okay, I'll give you a great example. So the way that it works is typically when you have traffic, your site has to get approved by these networks, by the way. So they're not just letting anyone start putting ads on their website, okay? So they want to approve your account and your website. So that's why you got to have a certain number of page views. Then once you get approved, they're going to start displaying not just ads around your content. They're going to target the people that are visiting. So they know just from different IP stuff and just different tracking, they know that there is a lot of people searching for certain or different things, and they're going to resonate with them more. So if I go on to a fishing site, I will probably see an ad for bulletproof coffee. That is probably what I will see. Okay, because I drink bulletproof coffee, I buy bulletproof coffee, and it's in my shopping cart a lot of times, so I do that, right? So here's the deal. When you're creating your website, you don't have to say, well, I have to talk about these certain things in order for the ads to pull it in. That's not how it works. Now, you can say, I only want ads to display about my gardening shop, but I wouldn't do that because I want it to really resonate to the people that are showing up individually. So the way that it works is, like I said, create some really good content. Keep people in your site, by the way. So if one visitor visits 5 different pages, that counts as 5 page views. Okay. So I'm going to get paid more because of that. So the idea is to keep people in the site longer. And by doing interlinking and things that we talk about inside of the academy and things that I've talked about even on here, you want to interlink to other useful content. So this way here, people can get more of what they're looking for. Right. And there's ways that you can do that. And again, we don't have a lot of time here today. Maybe we'll do a coffee talk on that. Right. So just understand, we want to try to give them a really good user experience. And then the ads are going to be supportive to them. Okay. So just understand that. Winston, good morning. Welcome back, my friend. Good morning, Scott. Just joined. Do you think it's a good idea to post podcast pins on Pinterest? Well, I think it is in the right market. And I'll be quite honest with you, Winston. I'm just starting this now. So actually, my daughter, who's also going to be running the training for our workshop, is actually setting this up, and we're going to do a test. So I don't know, but I'm gonna let you know in the future. But I'm doing it right now because it's pretty simple. Once you have the strategy down, then it's just a matter of creating your boards, filling your boards, and creating new pins for your content. And then you just get into a flow and kind of get into a rhythm, if you will, just like you would if you're posting content. So I do think it's a good idea depending on the market, okay? Depending on the market. But it can be. It totally can be. Let's see here. Okay, we just answered that. Salama, is majority of your income still selling on Amazon? At what point would you recommend pivoting to Shopify? Okay, so yes. In the brand that you're referring to, I would say still it's probably 70%, maybe 65-ish. Okay. But I'm okay with that because we have the traffic, right? And so, and actually it might not even be that much anymore. It might only be 60%. Because we have a lot of ad revenue coming in now. We have a lot of, we still have affiliate stuff coming in. We have digital guides. So we have all that stuff. We even have Etsy going on. We have, some eBay, but not much. We have more on Etsy now. I would say, yes, it is. But as far as like, here's the deal though. When people ask me, they're like, Scott, when should I start sending my own traffic over to Shopify? At the end of the day, we all know that people feel more trusted going on Amazon, right? So as long as, and here's a ninja tip for you guys, by the way, is inside of your post that you're referring to your product, I don't care if it goes to Shopify. I don't care if it goes to Etsy. I don't care if it goes to Amazon, right? I mean, I want it to go to Amazon right now because I want to feed that thing, right? You want to use a pretty link. And the reason is because at any point in time, if I have 10 or 15 or 20 mentions of that product, I can change where it's pointing with one single edit. So I can go into the back end of a pretty link. I can edit where it's going, change the URL, hit save, and instantly all of those links are changed immediately. All right. So I would say always use a pretty link. Now, a pretty link is a link, or it's a WordPress plugin. They have a free version. We use the free version a lot of times. But you can also, there's other ones out there. I would not use like a bit.ly link or a short Google link. I wouldn't do that. It looks spammy. It's not good. You want to do is use something that has your branding in it, kind of like brandcreators.com/workshop. That is going to take you to a workshop page, a landing page that tells all about the workshop. Now, guess what? In a month from now, if I decide to do one on email list building, I can change that link to the email list building workshop, right? So it's always there for when I need it, and I can just change in the back end of where that's pointing. So that's an important one, guys. That's a big nugget right there. All right. So again, I wouldn't direct my traffic off of Amazon. If you're selling on Amazon right now, I personally wouldn't go down that route until you have some really solid sales and you want to test it. But I would probably surmise that your conversions are going to go down. Okay. So if you're okay with that, but I would say, why are you going to take it off of Amazon right now if you're feeding Amazon and helping you rank for other keywords and all of that stuff? If you're in good standing with Amazon, why not just push them there, right? So I think unless you have a funnel that is built where you buy one thing and then you get upsold on the second thing and the third thing, it's designed to do that. That would just be a single funnel. It wouldn't be a Shopify store necessarily. So anyway, hopefully that helps, Salma. Let's see. Another one. Salma, thoughts on Joe Rogan leaving YouTube and going to Shopify? I don't know. I haven't really paid attention, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Ashley. Oh, we got a long one here. I really wanted to get my blog post up and live, but there's some things I was struggling with finishing off on my website to give it a more polished look. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Who's seeing it? Who is seeing the unpolishedness? Right, Ashley? Who's seeing it? Is your mom seeing it? Is Cindy seeing it? Is your your friends seeing it? Who cares? Right? There's no traffic yet, right? Publish it and then start polishing, right? Like, yeah, I stopped right there because so many people do that. They're like, well, I still got to tweak things, right? I still got to turn a little bit of dials here. I still got to tighten that up. I still got to do that. No, we want to get the thing done, right? I just left my lake house. It's rented right now, right? And it's renting really, really great. There's things there that I want to fix, right? I mean, to anyone else, you're going to walk in and be like, this is amazing. This is awesome. There's things that I want to tighten up. There's things that I want to change or fix. But you know what? To the normal person, the average person that's going in there, they're going to just look right past that stuff, right? But to me, I know it's there. I want it done. I want it polished, but I need to get that money coming in, right? So get that thing rented. It's not perfect. It's okay, right? There's a little chunk out of the bottom of my of the baseboard, where the refrigerator is, and someone hit it. It's okay. I'm gonna let it fly right now. I'm gonna touch it up, right? Go. Let's get that thing rented, right? We can't get traffic if we don't publish, right? So we got to get it published. No one's seeing it. So I'm just going to finish here. After spending hours and struggling, I am brand new to WordPress and don't understand most of it. I decided to hire someone to help me with my website yesterday afternoon. The guy offered an additional monthly service to help with any updates. The problem is that he changed the password to my website and locked me out. Oh boy. Okay. I do not like anyone that is holding someone hostage in a sense to their own website to make edits and then they charge you per edit. I would find a new person, Ashley. I wouldn't go down that road. If anything, I would go to like Upwork and I would find someone, I would hire someone on a job to job basis. That's it. Anytime someone says, oh, I can do this for you monthly, and then you got to reach out to them and go, I want to make this change. I'm telling you right now, you can figure it out. There's enough YouTube videos out there to help you do an edit on a post. All right. So not that hard. Plenty of information out there. You can do it yourself. If you don't want to do it yourself, pay someone on Upwork or FreeUp or even Fiverr to make those edits. There's a lot of places out there that'll do it for you, and they're not going to hold you hostage in a sense. So yeah, that's my recommendation on that one. All right, let's see here. Derek, do you recommend sign up or membership on your website and also a shop on your website? Okay, I kind of went down this. We might be trying to do too much, Derek. The first question is, do you have traffic? Right? If we have traffic, then we can start talking about monetization or whatever, right? Do you recommend sign up? A sign up for an email capture? Yes. Adding a membership right up front? Probably not. It's a whole nother animal, okay? And having a shop on your site, if you have stuff to offer, yes, put the shop there. Let people know you have a shop. I'm okay with that. But I wouldn't do things too early and get anxious, right? Just build the thing and then we'll rent it out later, okay? Karen, all right. Okay, I know you were saying to wait to become affiliate. We have over 200 subscribers, almost 2,000 page views, and a good number going to the shop, but we have nothing there. We are on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Advertising numbers really look good. And yes, our open rate is 30% and click-through rate is 22 to 24%. That's high. It's great. The reason why click is so high is because they are giving them value each time. I just want to warn you though, that will go down. I will promise you that as your list grows, that will go down. 200 on a list is small, which is good. And you're getting some good engagement, but that will go down. So just be prepared for that. Don't expect 20 to 24% click through. I'm happy with like 2 to 4. Okay. With activity ideas and worksheets, should I start becoming an affiliate with Amazon? We qualify. Okay. So yeah, I would probably. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is they're going to either suspend your privileges and basically say, come back to us in 30 days or 60 days. Now, there has been people that have said that they can't get an account anymore, but there's ways around that. So I wouldn't worry about that. The best thing you can do right now, though, is if you're going to do that, is put some affiliate links throughout your blog posts and then drive some traffic there with the email list, but don't push anything to go buy. Okay, don't push in your email. You cannot do that in email. You can't push affiliate links in emails. You need to drive them to your blog and your website. So you can try it, but again, the benefits of having affiliate stuff on your site right now, it isn't really, I guess the benefits aren't there yet because you have 2,000 page views, right? It sounds good, but you need more really in order to see any type of sales on a regular basis. So I would personally just hold off a little bit, and then I would just keep, putting out the content. I would also, yes, I would build posts that have products that you will be an affiliate for, but I would not prematurely do this because you want to make an extra $100, right? I would wait a little bit just to get the steady traffic. But again, it's going to be a hit or miss. I can't say for sure if it's a good idea or not because every market's different. So hopefully that helped. All right, James, let me take a sip of coffee here, James. I'm wanting to go live on YouTube. Should I simply pick a day and time and stick with that time every week? If you don't think I should start going live, just let me know. I think you should do both, to be honest with you. I think doing live would be fun. for you. It would allow you to absolutely put a video up, guaranteed. And I think when you do something live like this, like I'm doing, there's less structure to it because you're kind of like all over the place in a sense. And I'm trying to keep this tight, but it's still, I go off a little bit because there's a lot of topics that kind of bring us into different directions. So I would say I would try to do both. Now, if you can't do both, then yes, do a live, but know what you're going to do up front and treat it as though you're teaching a lesson to a student, right? So if it's a matter of you're going to break down the intro to AC/DC's Back in Black, then that's what the Facebook Live is going to be about, or the YouTube Live is going to be about, okay? And yes, I would definitely 100% sign up in your own mind that you're going to publish every single week at the exact time. It does two things. One is it pushes you and makes you say, holy crap, it's, here it is, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm doing this Facebook Live, and I just had to drive an hour and a half to get here so I could show up and be consistent. I did that myself because I committed to you, right? So when you commit to other people and just commit to yourself in your mind, you're going to do it. So I would say definitely do it just for your own mental side of things, but also people will then start to look forward to, oh, it's Friday, and James is going to come out and do a new lesson this week. And then you can start doing requests. What do you guys want me to do next week? Any song requests? And then you can start working on that song. And then guess what? You can come on and go, hey, it's James. Today we're going to do the solo to Back in Black because, Sam came on live last time and said he wanted me to do it. So I'm going to do it for Sam and anyone else out there that wants it. So what does that do? It shows that you have people watching and listening and you have questions. What does that do? It puts you as an authoritative person in your market because people are asking you questions and you're the teacher now, right? So there's a lot of that goes into it as well. So yes, I would definitely say do the live, but I would try to also add the component of another video if you can. All right. And it doesn't have to be long. It could be like one little thing that I'm kind of stuck on, right? I'm stuck on doing this one scale. You found a hack to be able to learn this scale with a really simple technique. And then you just come on, you teach me in 3 minutes and I go work on it. And then you say, come back and let me know. Was that helpful? If not, let me know. What were you stuck on? All right, guys, James, I'm out. Like, that's it. Simple. Mike, point. As a former broadcaster, I can confirm that live is always better than tape. We were supposed to practice off air on what was referred to as the dummy load, not to the real antenna. That was always void of purpose. Once the on-air light went on for real, suddenly the mind goes into a totally different gear and drives the narrative. Just try it. You'll see the difference it makes. Yeah, I love that, Mike. I love it that you were a broadcast person too. Debbie, I'm going to live on my website today, or I'm going live. I'm going live on my website today, as promised, with one post. I'm just not sure what to post next. I know I need to niche down, but not sure which way to go. I believe I have many options, but I'm stuck in analysis paralysis. Any suggestions? Yes, I have one. What are 5 questions your market is asking right now? And one way to figure this out is just go to Google and type in how to catch more bass, let it autofill. It's going to say in a pond. It's going to say in a lake, right? Or another way to do it is, can you catch bass with a rubber worm? Question mark. And then you're going to see all of these other suggested questions. You're going to write posts on those. I always tell people, start with questions. Questions are easy to answer. It's what people need. It's what they're searching for. And it's also easier to rank for. So I would do that. I would fill your bucket. I usually talk about the 3 buckets of content. And the 3 buckets of content is questions, how to, and products. Product comparisons, product reviews, your thoughts on different products, what you like, what you don't like, unboxings, all of that stuff. But questions always comes first. So whenever we're building a new brand, a new website, a blog, the content starts with questions. So I will do what I call a content tree, where you have one main question that could go in 100 different directions, or let's say 20 different directions. And then I'll create 20 different posts off of that go into more specifics. And then I'll link everything back to the one, right? We call that content tree. So that's what I would suggest doing. And I'm sure if you just go through that one little exercise, you're gonna be like, okay, there's 5 posts. Also, Google will also tell you suggested questions, like other questions people have asked from this query. If you did this, this keyword search, there's other ones that's related, and it will give you that. Those are going to be good keywords. I don't even care what the numbers look like in like Uber Suggest or a keyword tool. I'm just looking at, that's what Google's suggesting. People must be searching for it. So that'll get you out of that quick. Salama, are you planning to change your Facebook group name to your new brand? Yeah, we're in the process of that. And it's a funny story. The page, okay, the group is larger. That I'm probably not going to touch just because I may change the name, but I'm not going to change what's happening there. There's a lot of e-commerce discussion there. I'm not really affiliated with that anymore. And I've got some ideas on what we're going to do to make that still a very valuable resource for those people. Now, the page, we changed the name to Rock Your Brand Podcast, but it didn't get approved inside of Facebook for whatever reason. So we're still waiting to hear back. We appealed it and all that stuff. So it's been a little bit of a nightmare, but it's okay. We'll figure out something. But we changed the @ So if you go to @Rock Your Brand Podcast in Facebook, it'll take you there. But the title is still The Amazing Seller. It's weird. They won't allow us to change it at this point for some reason. So we're working on it. Where would you go apart from Answer the Public to look for questions to answer in your niche for content if you are new? Again, I would go to Google. I'd go to YouTube. I'd go there. Use the auto suggest portion of those search engines. All right. I'd go there. I'd go to Pinterest too. Right. I'd go to those three. That'd give you enough right there to go and start creating content. And then you don't get overwhelmed with like, oh, but this here has a domain score of 4, and this here has 19 backlinks, and this has 50 posts, and that's why they rank. No, don't worry about that. Post, right? Create and post. That is the formula, guys. And I would go to those three. Answer the Public. If you go there, it's going to give you some really good ideas, but I would even go outside of that. I'd go Google, I'd go YouTube, and I'd go Pinterest. That's where I'd go. All right, Derek, can too many plugins on your website slow up your site? Yes, it can. How to keep your site optimized, and do you recommend continuous backups? Yes, there's plugins that help with that, but I would keep the site very, very, very light, meaning I would not install a bunch of plugins on the website. The one that I love is Yoast. That's an optimization, SEO optimization plugin. It's fairly light. And then an optimization plugin I would install would be for optimizing your images to make them smaller or to compress them. You want the load time to be as fast as possible. And that's a big mistake I see a lot of people making, is they try to install too many plugins because they want all the bells and whistles. And what happens is people come to the site and then they jump, they bounce. We don't want that. The other thing is you want to see how your site works on mobile. We have most of our traffic, 75% of our traffic is being discovered and being used on mobile. So make sure that you're optimizing for mobile as well. But yes, too many plugins can be bad. Start with 1 or 2 that you need and then just build off of that. You don't need to have a ton of plugins. Let's see here. Derek, what tool plugin do you use to put Google ads on your website? It's basically through the network. So if we're using Ezoic, it's going to be their plugin. If it's Mediavine, it's their plugin. If it's AdThrive, it's their plugin. And then they can control it. We can control it. We can change placements. We can do all that stuff. And they also give you a lot of data on the back end when you're using that. All right. Let's see here. Why did you price your book so low? I have seen other guides selling for more. Yeah, well, that's done by design. Here's why. I want people to get this, by the way. Brand Creators, the playbook. This is the playbook that we use inside of Brand Creators Academy. It is worth more than $4.99. Why did I price it at that point? Well, here's why. I want to get it in more people's hands. That right there is also a lead magnet for me. Let's be honest. If you buy that for $4.99, it shows me that you're interested in building your brand. And it also shows me that you're interested enough to throw $5 into the ring, right? The other thing is on the back end of that, there's an upsell for $9.99. And you'd say, well, Scott, that's still not that much. It's an audiobook, right? And then there's one other thing that is on the back end of that if you wanted to go through and I don't even have this on my website. It's only if you purchase that book. It's our market selection masterclass. So I go through 5 different examples. I drill down into these markets, showing you a good market, a bad market, what I look for, what I like, what I don't like. So it's basically going through the playbook, but showing how I'm going through that process. And that's over like 3 hours long, and that's $99. So basically that book could earn more money, but that's not my goal. My goal is to give people enough resources to get going. And then if they're interested in joining Brand Creators Academy when we open in July, then I know that they're possibly ready, right? So I've gotten them up to speed. That's why. I have learned a long time ago to give as much value as you can at an affordable price, and not saying that you shouldn't charge. Let's face it. I'll throw it right out there, guys. I have a lake shop, or a lake house master shop that I've done this past year. And it was $4,500 for one business to come in. Okay. And we did that for 2 full days. Okay. It's only for people that are doing anywhere from 500,000 a year to, $1 million plus. Okay. So there's other ways that you can earn money, and you want those people to be qualified. Not everyone's qualified. So my goal is to get you your brand built off of this and the academy. And then hopefully one day you might be hanging out with me at the lake house, right? So there's always tiers that you can work people up towards when they're ready. Okay. I mean, heck, I've done an inner circle where people will pay $25,000 for the year to be a part of that, where I work with them for 12 months, right? So there's ways that you can charge more, but when people are in the right place to where it would make sense for their business. But I want to give as much free value, and even, just like this workshop we're doing for Pinterest, I could honestly probably charge 3 times, 4 times what we're charging. And I'm not. And the reason is because I want more people to get in, give them a taste of what it's like to go through one of our trainings. And then hopefully maybe they're going to want to join Brand Creators Academy when we open in July, right? But why not take that one component and give it to them at a reasonable price so they get to kind of come in and actually see what it's like? So you just can't be afraid to give too much, guys. You can't worry about that. All right. All right. A few more questions. Then we got to jump here, guys. This jam session is going long. Okay. Lloyd, good morning, Scott. Any recommendations as the best way for selling digital products, such as a course or a PDF on a website, a particular plugin, or some other method? Yeah. Well, I would say on that there, it's going to come down to not just your website. You're going to build more or less like a sales process, or also known as a funnel. And it could be as simple as you put up a lead page or a landing page in ConvertKit, whatever. And there's even Gumroad, which is a great tool that is independent of itself. They only charge you if you sell. You can roll courses out. You can do all that stuff, and you only pay for when the transaction is done. I think to simplify that is the key. So my biggest thing would be is get something where you can deliver it to people. You can also create a front-end sales page in a sense, and it doesn't have to be necessarily your website. Now you can take like Gumroad, for example, and you can embed that as like an iframe inside of your website, so it appears as though it's in your site. You can make the transaction happen in your site, all of that stuff. So that's what I would recommend on that, because you can deliver it digitally very easily, and then you can give people access. Once they buy, they're going to get login. If you're a little bit more advanced, you want to use something like Kajabi. Kajabi is going to start at about $100 a month and go up to about $300 a month, depending on how many members you have and all of that stuff. We use Kajabi right now. We love it. A lot of great things, but a lot of times it's a little bit more advanced for people just starting. Salama, what would you recommend for sales page? Oh, okay. There, I just answered it. Anything that works that's easy for you right now. I don't think you need Kajabi right now. Honestly, Lead Pages is not going to help you deliver the product all that much. So I would say something like Gumroad would be a good one to try out. And then the other one is Kajabi. Those are the ones that I like. There's Teachable. I use Teachable. I'm not a fan. I got to be honest with you guys. And I want to be. I'm not. It's clunky. It's hard to know when you buy, like where to go. It was very confusing for me. I set it up. We actually delivered our recordings for Brand Accelerator Live on that as a test, and I didn't like it. Kajabi way better, in my opinion. Winston, okay, what's the best way to drive traffic to my podcast? Saying I'm here, listen to me. The best way to do it is to do stuff like this right here. Like, jump on live and bring attention to that episode. If you had an episode that you talked about Pinterest like we are, do a podcast episode that teaches and then mention it, right? So that's what I would do either an episode or also I would build the email list if you haven't done so already. But I would also try to do my best to really show up on social like I'm doing right here and just try to bring awareness to it. It's a slow grind. It's not going to happen overnight. Also, try to get on some people's podcasts that's in your audience. And that's a really good thing to do as well. Ashley, since I only have a few posts, should I wait on signing up for the Pinterest workshop? I really want to sign up, but I'm worried I'm doing so prematurely. Well, Ashley, here's the deal. You have a website up and running, correct? So it's already built. You have a post. You want traffic going to there, right? So then, yes, you would be the right fit because you have that component. If you said to me, Scott, I don't have my website up, I don't have any content written yet, I'd say do that first, then you can do that later. But you're actually in a great spot because you can be, if I'm building a brand and I'm in your place right now, the next part of that is the Pinterest side of things. So I would say yes. And I'm not just saying that because I would tell you no. Trust me, I would tell you no. Let's see here. Debbie, hi, Ashley. I'm in the same. Oh, okay. So we're having a little communication going on here. Cool. Mike, as Scott advised, Ashley, the person has no right to do this and planning to extort you. Okay. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's already been in the comments, but Mike is basically jumping in there and saying like, how dare this guy hold you hostage to your own website? I agree. I hate that model. And I don't say hate much, but I don't like it. Grace. Hey, Grace. Good morning. I love that you always go back to keeping things simple. Yeah, that is my motto. I got to be honest. This year coming up that we're facing right now is all about simplicity, guys. It's all about simplicity. I am not going down the road of shiny objects. It's what I'm doing, keeping it simple, and even streamlining my team. Like everything that I'm doing is purposely, and it's deliberate. Simple. Keep it simple. Yeah, no problem, Winston. Thank you for showing up, my man. Tristan, I'm looking into hiring a marketing company in the next few days. What are some questions that I need to ask them to make sure that my question to you, Tristan, is why? Why are you hiring a marketing company? Marketing companies, a lot of times to me, they don't know marketing. I'm sorry. And maybe this company that you're looking to hire does, but a lot of times marketing companies don't understand just direct response marketing. So I would like to know, and we can't really go into it today, but maybe drop in the comments. Maybe we can follow up on this. What are you struggling with marketing wise? What is your goal for marketing? And what do you consider marketing? Because I don't think that you necessarily need a marketing company, a marketing agency. I don't really find that they're that useful. All right, one last question. Would you sell downloadable digital product on Etsy? Yes, and I've done it. I've done it with our digital creations. We had Photoshop templates, sold them on there. It's a great place. I know Karen is on here who sells, it's kind of like assignments for students or for teachers to give to students and stuff. Anything like that, 100%. I'm a fan. You can definitely use Etsy. And Etsy's Etsy's a search engine for buyers. So why not use that, right? So I would say yes, 100%. Etsy is great for that. Mike, Scott is again 100% correct. I run a marketing company for 20 years. If you actually know how to do it, be careful. Yes, Mike, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Yes, Salama, we will see you tomorrow. So, all right, guys, this is going to wrap up the Friday jam session, which we jammed for a long time. Here's what I want you to do, though. If you're listening to this or watching this, I want you to drop a question down below if you have one, okay? This can happen for an upcoming coffee talk or for the next Friday jam session, which happens every Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you're listening to this on the podcast, go to takeactioncrew.com. I had to think about that. And then the last thing is if you are interested in joining our little training here, our Pinterest training that we're going to be doing, our pop-up. And I'll just explain a little bit about what's going to happen here. If you go to brandcreators.com/workshop, you can put your name and email address in there. We're going to notify you when we open for enrollment, which is going to happen May 27th, which is on a Wednesday. We're going to keep it open until, Sunday. And then June 1st, we are going to have a kickoff call for the Pinterest training. Then from there, we are going to then have the first week of lessons there for you to go through and take action on. Then we're going to have a call at the end of the week and we are going to go over any questions. We're going to do reviews of people's setup, their accounts. And then from there, the second week will be all about creating your own pins and really the strategy as far as implementation in your business. And we're going to go through all of that. And then we're going to have a live Q&A call at the end of that week. So it's going to be a 2-week class. Technically, you only need probably about, I would say, 30 minutes a day. If you can take 30 minutes a day, you can do this. If you can give an hour, you'll do even better. But it's going to basically go over the entire strategy that we've been using. And we're going to give you all of that. And we're going to give you some templates and things. So this way here, you can create your own beautiful pins for your business, but also not just creating them, but where to place them, where to put them, how to create your boards, the strategy behind getting them indexed in Google, getting them found inside of search, all of that stuff. So hashtagging and keyword research, all that stuff is done inside of the Pinterest ecosystem. So if you're interested, brandcreators.com/workshop. If you're listening to this on the podcast after June 1st and we've already started the class, well, you can go to that link. There may be a sign-up form. I can't promise you that, but we are also teaching this inside of Brand Creators Academy, which is not currently open. It's going to be opening back up in July. So that's it, guys. That's what I got for you. If you want to be part of our Take Action Morning Crew, just head on over to takeactioncrew.com and you can become part of our Take Action Crew. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.